Hey guys, we are back with another video. We are Meet the Simmons. And what's your PSA?
Please like and subscribe. We need y'all. Please. Please.
Okay.
Wait, I gotta do my
Okay.
ding.
All right. So, today's video, you see the thumbnail. Some of y'all already triggered. Some of y'all already punching the air. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna be happy with this video.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard this? My children are my world. My children are everything to me. And it sounds great. It sounds good. It sounds like something that every good parent would say. However, if you are married, your children can't be the center of your world. They can't be. They can't be. Today we're going to talk about the dangers of a child-centered marriage. So I want y'all to listen up. Listen very careful to me. I know you're mad right now. He telling me I can't love my kids, and he telling me
we're not saying that at all.
And then the dudes are like, oh, my babies are. I get it. I got 3 myself, but I want you to understand something. Your children can destroy your marriage. Yes, I said it. Your children can and will, if you don't watch it, destroy your marriage. And I'm going to tell you why. We came up with a term for married couples that have kids, that have child-centered marriage. And when we say child-centered marriage, what we mean is a marriage where everything's about the
revolves
kids.
Around the children.
Everything revolves around the kids. Everything, and when they're small, you fall into this. It's a trap, guys. You fall into this trap where everything's about the kids. You can't. Everything you go on a date night where you talk about the kids. You text her during the day. Make sure to pick up the milk. Make sure you pick up so and so from daycare.
The
make
diapers,
sure she gets her binky. This one has practice. This one has oboe lessons.
Lessons.
Yeah, people know about the oboe.
Okay.
Anyway,
you better rock that oboe.
So and then you don't realize it, but time is passing. 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, out the house. Next one up. 3, 5, over and over again. And you don't realize that time is passing. And you and your partner are growing further and further and further apart because everything's about the kids. Because that's what we think we're supposed to do.
Yeah, we think it's the right thing to do.
But you have to learn to make your marriage a priority. So there's some signs that you have a child-centered marriage. It's what I call roommate syndrome. Roommate syndrome. You and your spouse become roommates. You literally have roommates sleep in the same bed and occasionally have sex, if that. So it's always, did you pay this bill? Did you do this? Did you do that? You don't really talk to each other. You talk at each other.
There's not real intimacy.
There's no
there.
real, yeah.
It's just very transactional almost.
Yep.
Just, yeah.
It's like your roommates. Like you might watch a movie together once in a while and y'all might hang out, but I did that stuff with my roommates when I had roommates.
And then you find yourself, when you do go out on dates or you have alone time, it's awkward.
Yeah.
Because there's been a wedge that started to build and you didn't even realize that was happening.
So you feel it with talking about the one thing you have in common, the kids.
Children.
So y'all talk about kids. Oh, you know, Gerald's so funny. We say we did the other day. And then little Susie, she's this and that. And then when y'all friends talking about the kids, you're sitting there like.
Maybe on your phone or you sipping your soup.
So, yeah.
Like, what is there? Yep. What else is there to talk about?
Yep. And when you have a child-centered marriage, it can create jealousy between you and your partner.
And I think it starts out very innocent, especially once the children are little because of the need of the child. When you have small children, they're very, very needy. Their eating schedule, sleeping schedule, we get that. We've rocked that 3 times. We have 3 kids. We get that. But when you start to lose yourself and lose the relationship because of those needs and the kids come first, for example, you just had a baby, the baby's crying in the middle of the night, and what do, Mom? You spring to action. I've got you. You nurse that baby, whether you're breastfeeding or whatever, you nurse that baby, give that baby all the love it needs. You're deprived of sleep, but you lay that baby down. Maybe the baby's sleeping in the bed with y'all, which not a good idea. But you do that. But let him tap you in the middle of the night. Hey, you know what I'm saying?
What's up, girl?
It's time. I know you did it. I am not getting enough sleep. The baby's going to be up probably an hour. I have to breastfeed. Like, whoa.
And so that creates jealousy. So your partner is always like, hey, you got all this energy for this little knucklehead that I'm feeding, and you can't give me, and then the same thing with, this happens a lot with dads. Like the good dads like myself, they get up in the middle of the night too, and they'll go in there and they end up sleeping in the bed with the kid. they end up sleeping in the kids' room, or they end up, just kind of fall asleep in there, and that becomes a pattern.
Yeah.
And the kid gets used to having dad there. And,
Yep.
and then they're like, and especially if it's a little girl, because we know how little girls are about their daddies, and I love my little girl. She'll always be my baby, but well, Dad, can you come sleep with me? Can you come? And then Dad goes in there.
Can you
and
make sure that there's no monsters in my closet?
Exactly.
And what does Dad do? Protector mode. Yes, I will make sure you are safe. Let me look for the monster. And the next thing you know, when are you coming? Okay, I'm going to bed.
Yep. And she may have been wanting to get her son that
exactly.
night.
Like, it may have been.
You in there in sleeping in a toddler bed with your 6'2" in a toddler bed. What are you doing, bro?
Hurting your back and your neck.
Exactly. And they're trying to protect your little girl, thinking you're doing the right thing.
Yep.
But it's insidious, guys. It is a very insidious thing. You have to be careful that, because what you don't see, and because you're young now, you guys just got married, you're thinking about getting married, just had that first kid. What you don't see is 20 years down the road. Because we got two right now at the jump door. We got two young men that are going into the world. And where did time go? For me, it seemed like yesterday that they were just around my ankles, all over me, wrestling, playing, all this stuff.
Remember the superhero phase they went through where they were dressed in the little costumes?
Yeah, they went through all this. It was so cute. And, we get on the floor and roll around and play and all that stuff. And they're grown men now.
Yeah.
They're grown men. And handsome and smart and I pray ready for the world.
Yeah.
But what we made a point was to never lose us.
We fought for that.
Never lose us. And so what happens to a lot of people in our stage of life is the empty nest syndrome. You've heard of that, empty nest syndrome. Empty nest divorce is through the roof. And there's another term I heard called gray divorce.
Yeah,
You heard that?
yeah.
It's our parents, the baby boomers, are now getting divorced after like 30,
20,
years.
30, 40 years. Well, not 20, but 30, 40 years of marriage. I mean, long time.
My parents
Raised
been married
kids, got
for-
grandkids,
Yes.
they're like, well, I'm good.
And then what
I'm
you
done.
what you gonna do?
Where you going?
Where you going? Like, what's out there that you need to
going to
discover?
see what's out there, I guess.
Well, ain't nothing out there, but but ain't nothing. Look,
So glad you reeled it in.
because I'm about to say something. I'm about to wild out.
Yep, let's go.
But there's nothing out there. But people feel like, oh, I missed out on this and that, and it really is because they
Time for me to live my dream and all that craziness.
All that
whatever.
crazy talk. Because you grew apart, and that's the truth of it, is that you grew apart from your partner because you made everything about the kids, and then once the kids were gone, you had nothing left.
Nothing in
you were
common.
living with a stranger because there was nothing left between you guys. It was taken slowly but surely over the years because you did not make your partner a priority. We're trying to warn you. This happens all the time, guys. So I know you're thinking, like, especially my young parents out there, they're like, well, they need us, and they gotta have. They do, but your partner needs you too,
and you need yourself.
Yes.
Like, don't lose you too in the whole process. You lose yourself in the title of mom, and you lose yourself in the title of dad. And then when mom and dad, because the beautiful thing about in a marriage is that you're gonna shift roles all the time. You're gonna wear one hat, you're gonna take the other one off, you're gonna wear another hat. You may have to wear two. I get it, but when they move out the house and you get to take the mom hat off in the home, speaking per se, you'll always be a mom, you know what I mean? But now you're just wife. What does that look like? What does that feel like? How do I do this? Because I've been mom for 20 years. I've been mom for 18 years, and now you're asking me to take this off, and I gotta be your wife? Like, what does that look like? How does that feel? How do we relate to each other?
I don't even know you anymore.
Yeah.
And another one that we see is that when one parent pair bonds to a child.
That's so bad.
It's dangerous. And it sounds weird, but that's what happens.
It happens,
when a husband and wife come together, they pair bond. There's certain chemicals that are secreted, oxytocin, dopamine, to bond you with your partner. But sometimes when that wife has that first child, or that dad gets their first child, they will pair bond to that child. And it creates a weird dynamic where the parent is more loyal to the child than they are to the spouse.
Yeah.
And so you see people say, oh, my mom's my best friend. Or they'll say, crazy stuff like that. Or the mom and daughter, I just use mom and daughter because I see it a lot.
Yeah.
They'll say, they call the kid their best friend. They hang out with them. They're so involved in the kid's life that they don't even care about the husband, or it's just weird. It gets really weird and it's really hairy. And so that is a very dangerous thing.
It's dangerous because you lose your objectivity. Because the moment I become my child's friend, I'm losing my objectivity. I don't get to actually intervene and give the guidance and the nurturing that I need as a parent, because I'm not your friend. You're going to have plenty of friends, but I'm your mother. And what I'm seeing is this: you lose that when you're pair bonded to your child, because you're too worried about offending the child and to losing that friendship with the child. It gets hairy.
And dads do it too.
Yes,
they do it with their
dads
daughters
do it as
and
well.
their sons.
Yeah.
It can go both ways. So how, guys? I know you're saying like, okay, well, I've scared you sufficiently now. So y'all like, okay, well, how do we avoid this thing? Well, I got you. Your big brother got you. So first thing you got to do is you have to set healthy boundaries. Set healthy boundaries with your children. What do I mean by that? I knew a guy back in the day. He and I became fathers around the same time. I was I think he had his son about 3 years after I had my first child. And he came to me one day and we were just talking, and he was saying, man, me and my wife had sex over a month. I'm like, excuse me, say what? We're in our 20s.
Say what?
We're in our 20s at this time, and I'm trying to get it in whenever I can get it in my 20s, and he is too. Obviously, we both are married. And he's like, yeah, man, my son, he comes to the door every night, and he wants to, as soon as we getting ready to lay down, he wants to come in and snuggle with us, and he's this, and he knocks on the door, and I was like, did you lock the door? He was like, well, if you lock the door, he's going to think you're not there for him. I was like, you associating all this guilt. No, you set the boundary. Mom and daddy, it's mom and daddy time. Go to bed. He's 5 years old. He'll be fine. He's been fed. He ain't hungry. He ain't scared. He just wants to be around y'all. It's 10 o'clock. 5-year-old should be asleep by 10. You have to set boundaries, guys. You gotta set boundaries for these kids. And I know you're like, but what if? No. Listen to your boy. I ain't raised a serial killer yet. I'm telling you, not that I know. But what I'm saying is, you have to set those boundaries. You gotta learn to tell your kid no. You have to make this a priority.
Or mommy and daddy's bed is mommy and daddy's bed. You have a bed. It's in your room. Well, I'm scared. Okay, let's get you a nightlight. They got the little stars, get the little stars, put the little stars on the little roof. But guess where you gonna sleep? In that nice expensive bed that I bought from whatever.
Rooms to go.
IKEA, living spaces. Wherever we bought it from, you're gonna live in that living space. Go on in that room. I will be in here with you for a little bit, but you going to bed, and I'm going to bed.
And your kid needs to learn how to self-soothe.
Yes.
See, what you have now is a bunch of people that were raised in homes just like that, and they're on your job. They're that little entitled, spoiled brat that doesn't understand boundaries, doesn't respect authority. That's what happened. When they were growing up, nobody ever told them no.
Yeah.
Nobody ever set boundaries for them. They never learn how to self-soothe. They're always looking for somebody else to latch on to so that they can get their needs met. And that is dangerous. So outside of just protecting your marriage, do us all a favor and please raise some well-balanced adults. And well-balanced adults understand the word no. Well-balanced adults understand boundaries. And your marriage will flourish if you understand, and the kids will flourish if they understand these things. My kids know, you gotta knock on the door before you come in here. Don't just barge in this room. You don't do that. And even when they were little, you're gonna get traumatized. And even
that's what he was saying. So y'all gonna see something, you ain't gonna be able to unsee it. Don't come in this room like that. Don't do it. Try to help you out. They be like, okay.
And even when they were little, we always made sure to set boundaries. I mean, of course, there have been times where our kids slept in our bed.
Okay, when they're sick, we get it. When, they had a nightmare, we get it. We're not saying dislike kids, ignore your kids. We're not saying walk past them when they're crying, they bleeding. Yeah, I get you a towel. Like, we're not saying that. But what we are saying is you have to prioritize your marriage relationship throughout the duration, every season of your marriage. You have to make it a priority.
And every season of that child's life.
Yeah.
Because that child's going to go through seasons. It's going to go through, that child's going to go, just like your marriage is going to go through seasons, that child's going to go through seasons. They're not going to be babies and infants forever.
No.
I legit knew a couple that had a 7-year-old in the bed with them every night. Unacceptable. So because your guilt and because the way your guilt over how you were raised and this and that, I don't ever want to feel too many feelings.
And I see that dynamic where the parents have made the child the center of the world, because now I remember I teach kindergarten. So when these babies come into the classroom, they're like, "Oh, another adult that's going to make me the center of the..." No, I need you to sit down because there's 29 other ones. I need you to sit down and get this work done because I don't have time to just give you 100% of my time. We've got to get work done because I'm responsible for your learning. So help the schools out too, y'all. That's a lot of work when you have that neediness, when they come in expecting that one-on-one 100% attention. That they're not going to get it, and they're going to be disappointed, and they are going to fight every day, crying, screaming, having fits, because that's the norm for them at home. But then when they enter the real world and they get different levels of structure, it's hard for them to cope. So do yourselves a favor, start when they're little, start when they're really, really little, and start setting those healthy boundaries.
And understand that kids are inherently selfish. They're selfish. That's what they are. They're selfish little human beings, and they want their way.
They're adorable, but they are.
They're cute as they want to be. But you got to understand something. There's a lot more at stake to this thing than just you not feeling guilty. You and your mom guilt or your dad guilt. There's a lot more at stake here. If you want to get down the road and you want to get 20, 30, 40, 50 years married, you must understand that it begins now. Not when the kids leave. That's the biggest mistake that most people make, and that's the biggest, most detrimental thing, because they think, oh, we'll reduce all the stuff after the kids leave. If you have 3 kids and they're 2 years apart, you're not gonna see your spouse again for 22 years. Think about that.
Yeah, that's real.
That's 22 years of raising kids. If you don't make this a priority, by the time you get 22 years, if you make it married that long, you ain't gonna know this person. You know how much I've changed in 22. We've been together 22 years, counting the time we dated. You know how much I changed? I had a full head of wavy, beautiful hair when this woman met me.
You would wear the little wave.
I had the wave cap.
You would brush. What you doing? You brushing again? Yeah, man. I'm saying.
Yes.
These waves.
I was significantly more in shape than I am now when we first met, and I was 21, 22, extremely immature. Grew up. Matured. I'm not the same man that she married.
Same with me. I'm a different person.
What if we just grew apart and never really everything was about the kids, kids, and now, where our youngest child is about to be 15, we only got a few more years left with people actually walking around this house every day.
And we're big on, we observe a lot, again, because we are life coaches. We're always watching and checking for body language, and one of the telltale signs is go to church. Dad on one side, mom on the other, kids between. Now I get it when they're small, you're trying to keep no. If you raise them right,
whole teenagers.
And it's not just the littles. It's like dad on one side, mom on the other, and the only interaction you see between the two are when they're actually talking about the child or they're talking to the child. They're not even really talking to each other. They're talking to, sit down, don't do that. Okay, play with this. What is he doing? I don't know, but he won't sit down. Well, why don't you take him out? Okay.
Yeah.
You see that, and that's a sign that there's that disconnect there, and they have prioritized the children over their married relationship.
Absolutely. So you guys got to be careful with that. It's so easy to fall. It's so insidious. I promise you guys, it's so easy to fall into.
It is.
It's so easy because you have the best intentions at heart.
You do have great intentions. Yeah, that's the thing about it. It's not like you're being
you want to raise these great kids.
Malicious,
but you have to understand that this right here is the most important relationship of all. If you want to raise good, well-balanced kids, the best thing you can give them is a happy mom and a happy husband who love each other and who really are down for one another. So go on a date nights. Get a sitter. I know you don't want to trust nobody. You haven't watched every Lifetime movie out there.
Why y'all watch that? Go to that video.
Yeah, go to that video. Why y'all watch that? Because find somebody you trust. Get a sitter. Go out with your husband. Don't talk about the kids. Make it a. And if somebody talks about the kids, like, you owe me $5. Like, that's the way you do it. Like, you literally hold each other accountable.
Do you remember a season when we gave each other 5 minutes? The first 5 minutes of, like, when we would go out on, because when they were little, that's what we did. We were like, all right, we got 5 minutes. Literally, we would put a timer on. You got 5 minutes. Get it out. After them 5 minutes, we laughing, we talking about, we dreaming, we vision casting, we doing all other kind of stuff.
Talk about what we gonna do to each other.
Yeah, all of that, sexy talk, all the stuff that you want to do. You got 5 minutes to get it out. Maybe try that. Set you a timer. 5 minutes. That's kid time. After that, it's us time. And it blessed us so much.
And it's so unfortunate to see a couple live together, raise these beautiful kids together all these years, and then all of a sudden they're divorced, or they're ringing my phone.
Yeah.
Hey man, can we talk? Yeah, sure. Book an appointment and we can talk. And then you get them to sit down and you see it right offhand what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, most counselors, coaches won't tell you this. It is extremely hard to repair a marriage where the couple has drifted apart for a certain amount of time. 15, 20 years, that's a long time, guys. That's a long time. You are basically going to have to retool the whole thing. You basically going to have to fall back in love. And that's, I can't make you fall back in love. That's something that you have to fight for. And it's hard, guys. It's hard. So I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that, oh, you come to me and we'll do a few sessions and that'll be it. And no. It's extremely difficult to walk a couple through figuring out why I married you 20 years ago.
And many people don't necessarily want to do that amount of work.
Yes. It's difficult.
Just the truth.
It's difficult because it's a lot of water under the bridge in 20 years. A lot of water under the bridge. So we just want to warn you because a lot of people don't talk about this stuff. You need to understand something, young people. This will destroy your marriage. If you make that little precious, sweet child the center of your world, it will destroy your marriage.
And I'll even say, even if you've been married for some time, there are things that you can do to change it. You can have a real candid conversation. Hey, do you think we focus too much on raising the kids over the years? And sit and really listen. Yeah, you know what? I think we did focus on them too much. Well, how are we going to change that? What can we do now to make it more about us?
So we love you. We want you guys to succeed. Please hit the like and subscribe button for more content. And with that, that's enough said.
Friends.
Y'all take care.